Welcome to the Bookish Breather podcast, a podcast where two book lovers meet to share, discuss, and sometimes even debate the books that have captured our attention. I'm Rasida.
And I'm Olivia, and we're both a part of Readers of JA. We are a literary movement that is focusing on getting people to read more, get back into reading, discover new stories.
Here is the twist of the podcast, though. Prior to each episode, Olivia and I have to read a book, but we have absolutely no idea what the other has read. So we come to this podcast in total surprise as it relates to what it is that we're going to be talking about.
So Rasida and I are gonna reveal what we've been reading. We're gonna talk a little bit about the stories, about the characters, about the themes, and every single episode will be new, fresh.
So here it is. Welcome to Bookish Breather. So Olivia, what book did you bring to the table today?
So today we will be talking about Jerome. If I Survive You.
Oh.
So
okay.
This is a Caribbean book because we are in June, which is Read Caribbean month. So I started from last month with my Caribbean book reading, and I read this. We were supposed to read this in book club from like last year, and I finally decided that I was going to read it. So it's a collection of interconnected short stories about a migrant family from Jamaica to the US.
Oh, I love interconnected stories. I really do. Okay. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. I'm excited. I love the cover. All right. So I brought two books because they are a series of books. You know, they have been getting a lot of hype in the last couple of years, especially on Book Talk.
Ooh.
So we have Fourth Wing.
Yes.
By Rebecca Yarros.
Yes.
And the second installment, which is Iron Flame by the same author.
Period.
So
I already have thoughts.
Yeah, these are already my books, and I am so excited to be discussing. There are a lot of thoughts that have just been in my mind. I've been waiting for us to get together to really just like chat it out because I have some thoughts.
She knows. I'm a romantasy girly.
Yeah. But let's start with you first.
Okay.
Let's start with you first. So tell me about it. If I Survive You, the plot, the character, what any part of this has pissed you off so far?
Ooh. Okay, so If I Survive You, I will say, like, some of the spoilers that I got from book club were like, people are like, okay, some of the characters or one character in particular is very irritating. And I love me a complicated character. I love a character I love being upset with my characters. That kind of problematic. But I love when a character pisses me off. And so this book follows the lineage of a family from Jamaica, and it's set in, where's that, like the 70s? Oh, side note, when I read a book, it goes through my brain in like 24 hours. Terrible.
Oh my God.
I'm one of those people. That's my bookish red flag.
That's your bookish red flag.
My bookish
you
red
forget
flag.
what you have read in 24 hours.
Legitimately.
I don't know what it is about Rebecca, but she has stuck with me.
No, first of all, I've read the entire series because I've also read Onyx Storm. We can't wait to talk about your book. Anyways, the main character, one of the main characters is called Trelawney, and his story is that like his parents left Jamaica and they moved to Miami, and then I think it was Hurricane Andrew. They were in Miami for that time, so the whole place mash up. And Trelawney has an older brother, Delano, and Delano spent part of his formative years in Jamaica, so he's Jamaican. And then Trelawney, ironically named Trelawney from the parish Trelawney, grew up in America.
America.
So their experience and like their outlook on life is
Very
so
different.
different. And you know, typical Jamaican man, Delon is like very hands-on. He ends up working like in construction with his father. And so he and his father have this very good bond. And then Trelawney is how people like to characterize a lot of people who like grew up in America with Jamaican parents.
Yeah, you're second gen.
Yes, and so his characterization is like kind of what people would call soft,
A watered down Jamaican.
Yeah, and I found that characterization very interesting, and I would love to hear about people who are from the diaspora. If you've read this book, like how you felt about it, because I was like, damn, this is how them always portray, which is not unfair, I think, but you know, it's not my lived reality. So I'm just looking at it like, damn, poor thing.
Poor Trelawney.
Poor Trelawney. But Trelawney kind of problematic still. Trelawney ends up being homeless, like him living in care because him pissed off him father and father put him out. Trelawney was put out, and like even how he grew up, like he was very like sensitive, and you know what the father them steer. You need to toughen up and you could survive in my world, and him and him father catch up and him father put him out, and then him live on the street, but him did go to school and like they learn him go to college and things, him have him degree. And so it's just it's the juxtaposition between the two, and like how all of that ends up playing out it was just really interesting.
Where's the mother in all of this though?
So I will say it also tells you like the history of their parents, so what their parents' life was like in Jamaica. So the mom ends up moving back to Jamaica when they were like old enough when they were like adults.
Not with the dad?
No, she and the father I think end up left. I not even remember why. She and the father end up left is the point. You see, me remember the mix up but not the details. She and the father end up left. She go back to Jamaica because she said she tired of America for her and she go back to her yard. So she moves back to Jamaica eventually. She had also like moved away for work before, so like she wasn't like in the family home. And then even before that there was like this huge split in the family. I think because she wanted to move to a different state for work. And that had happened after the hurricane. So Delana, who's the oldest son and the father, they go back to Miami because them did want to fix up the house. And so I never said, you know, one Trelawney young and too soft for this. So it was like a split in the home because the father take one penny and the mother take one penny. And only no contention.
Yeah, so that could have also added to just like how the difference in brought ups because perhaps mommy would have been a little bit more softer towards Trelawney, and Delano being raised by his very Jamaican father and also having spent some of his younger years in Jamaica would have also played a difference. And like, just to separate the two children though.
Because and how it ended up playing out was that they were like, all right, pick one pitney.
Oh dear.
Pick a pitney. So the father said, yeah, we'll take Delano.
And then son.
Yeah, and then Trelawney was like very resentful of that because he was like, you picked Delano and Delano your favorite.
I understand the resentment.
Yeah,
I do. Wow. And I think like thinking about it now, this storyline can relate to like so many Jamaicans. Especially where, you know, as somebody that has siblings, you're able to like clearly tell favorites. You can clearly tell. Parents will be like, "Oh, we're not a favorite." Son, like lies. You have your favorite. We know. Like,
so, Rasida, tell us a little bit about your book. Who is the author? What are some of the themes? How you're feeling so far? Well, books. So yeah, I've got to tell you, like. Yeah.
From the beginning. From the beginning. All right. So, my author is Rebecca Yaros, and basically, She has a 5-book installment. So far, I am 2 books deep. Book 3
Five
books.
Whenever I hear that,
Yeah, so 3 have been done already. I am 2 books in. Book 3 is on its way. Book
No, book
1
3 is
is
out.
I know it's on its way to me. I ordered it last week. I ordered it last week. So the 4th wing is the first book of the installment, and it introduces you to the land of dragons and other sorts of mythical creatures. We get to meet our protagonist, which is Violet. Her mother is a war general, the biggest war general ever, boss lady boss.
Period.
And Violet is a complete and utter contrast to her mommy. She is small, petite, frail, like very fragile, easily breakable. And so there is just like this continuous tug and war between her mother's expectations and just her realities and who she is as a person. The book is young adult.
Sure.
Yeah, girl.
Sure.
Young adult.
If you say so,
If
Rebecca.
you say so. It's young adult. It covers a lot of themes, but one that really stood out for me outside of it just being fantasy, because I mean it's dragons, it's fantasy. Also, I love everything dragon.
Period. Give me a dragon.
Give me a dragon.
A dragon in
I
the TBR.
I am reading it
Period.
instantly. Dragons.
Period.
Oh, you
Period.
have captured me.
Period.
A lot of underlining themes that I was able to pick up were just like division among people and society, and information is what I will say for now. Like information, how it is
shared,
collected, and hidden and disseminated
and used.
Exactly. That is a pivotal theme for me, and I really want us to discuss that further on in our conversation. But yeah, like if you spoilers, you are going to be getting spoilers from both of our books. So if you have not read any of them as yet, we do not apologize.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry. Alright, so first impressions. Olivia, what about this book grabbed your attention immediately?
I don't really think anything about this book grabbed my attention immediately. I was just determined to get through it. Also to note, I listened to it. I didn't actually read the physical copy. I'm a big audiobook person just because of lifestyle. So I listen to my books like mostly in commute. So let me tell you, I will say, having done the audiobook, the accents were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like when I do a Caribbean book, if the accents are very inauthentic, I get the ick, and sometimes I just can't. But this one, the accent never bothered at all. So I could tolerate it. But I mean, the stories were interesting. Like I kept listening because I had heard people complain about certain things in the book. So I was very curious to see what would happen. So, I kind of just kept going because I was like, okay, I want to know what happens next. But I wouldn't say something like grabbed me immediately.
Nothing grabbed you immediately?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No. But also, this is not like my go-to type of book.
Yeah, for real.
And so if you didn't give me a romantasy now, then we could have tell you immediately. But I'm really like challenging myself to read more widely. And so I am very open to, even if something don't grab me immediately, I'm gonna keep reading
Committing
it.
to finishing.
Yeah, because I'm like, I want to know how the story ends.
So I'm guessing that since nothing grabbed you immediately, that it wasn't quite easy for you to get into and like stay with the story.
No, it was not. I kind of cycle between this and other books, which I do a lot, because then if I feel like I get a little bored with one story, I can read something else and go back to it. But it did take me a little while to get into it. I will say I didn't realize that there were interconnected stories at first. So when a chapter ended and it switched to like another character or something else, initially I was very confused. Another bookish red flag, Olivia don't read no blur before she start the book them. She pick up the book them and she get the book them in order and she just start reaching. I know what the story about, nothing. So that's also a caveat to add to my confusion. So take things I'm say with a grain of salt. Because I read kind of chaotically. But I mean, I did find the stories interesting. Like, it was very interesting to see the progressions of the generation and like the switching of POVs. I enjoyed that, and just getting a look between or behind like the different characters' eyes.
Okay. Okay.
So, what about you? What were your first impressions of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame?
All right, so for me, Fourth Wing started out, first of all, I got this book a year before I started reading it. Because I got it when it, a little bit after the hype died down. And then it was just sitting on the shelf. And I just picked it up probably like 2 weeks ago and started reading it. And it started out very slow for me. You know, Violet has entered the War College and like the first, I don't know, 12 pages was just kind of like lull.
Yeah.
But I don't quite remember when it got to a point where I just could not put it down. I couldn't put it down.
So do you remember like what was happening in the story that like grabbed you?
I think it was when her sister was first introduced to the story, Mira, and they were arguing in her mother's office about why would you send her to the college? You know, she's meant to be a scribe. That's what her father wanted. You're trying to kill her. You don't love her. And this is really just the relationship that all the children have with their mother for some sort. And like, I know I'm going a little bit off tangent.
No, you're fine.
But then Lilith is so misunderstood. Like, I don't know. Like, Lilith as a mom, that's another theme for me. Like, how far are parents willing to go to protect their children? Because that's really all she did.
I legit can't wait for you to get to our next story. I can't wait.
So yeah, it did start out a little bit slow-ish, but just the first couple of pages. I wouldn't say like the first chapter, just the first couple of pages. But once you get into it, and then I'm a big romance, fantasy girly as well. So this it really grabbed me from the onset and it kept me. It was so intoxicating. I'm reading and I'm just forgetting that, you know, Rasida, you can close the book and go use the bathroom. Like, that's a thing you can do. But the way how my mind was processing what was going on, it felt as though it was live in front of me, and if I moved at any moment in time, I'm going to miss something.
Yeah, miss it. Like,
and I don't want to miss anything.
I will add, I listened to Fourth Wing as well, and I did the graphic audio. So it was a full cast with sound effects. And, when it starts, it's like a movie in your me I say, yeah, man. Because that's literally the theme of graphic audio. It's like a movie in your mind. And Fourth Wing for me as well, I couldn't put it down. Like, everywhere I was going, it was just in my ear, I just listening to it. I felt like I was in the world. I'd go to my bed and dream about Basgaya. Yeah.
When I told you I was like in closer to like the ending of Iron Flame, I started having vivid dreams about the scenery. Vivid. I'm like, I am there in living color. Or maybe I was just sleep deprived. I don't know which one. But either way, it was in my mind.
Yeah, because she stay up and read till much like a night. And I tell her, say, the people in Bookish different times. So when I up till 1 o'clock a man and I read.
Yeah, I put everybody to bed. Everybody was fast asleep. And I was walking around reading. And I'm like, oh, like the ladies are out.
Yeah, we're out. Out cold. But I think that's a sign of a book that you're like really, really into.
Yeah, yes, when you're just so intoxicated by it and you're just unable to put it down. All right, so we're back on your book, which you don't seem to be liking very well, but you know, you were committed to finishing it. So that's really what you did, especially since it's Read Caribbean Month and you're trying to, read more Caribbean authors and diversify your literary palette. So I do commend you for that. Yeah, round of applause. But I've put down many books in my time.
Yeah, I have started to DNF books, but I didn't DNF this one because I'm reading it in the moment. I was like, what is happening? What is going on? But I just kept going because I wanted to know what would happen next. And when it was done, I was like, what just happened? In terms of like how it ended, I couldn't tell. I was like, what? It was
the end?
Yeah, it was almost like, so how it ended is almost like he was saying if what happened was a dream, and I was very confused. But I would say, having had time to kind of sit on the stories, I think I did enjoy. I don't know if I enjoyed it, but I think it's a good read.
Yeah.
And I think it's an especially good book for people to read, and I think it would be a good book club pick. I started to read it when my book club was discussing it, because I know I see why the group did so heated.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great book to read, especially for like book clubs in terms of like themes and the characterizations. And even though it's not my typical kind of read, I'm still happy that I read it. I still enjoyed the stories. I still remember things that happened in there, because there are parts of it where I was like, boy, these are shut up fire and people are duck and can't get teeth, and yeah, them kind of reading me like.
Yeah.
So when that one me I say, yeah, and people are
chaos.
thump down people, and people are chop down people tree, like in those moments I was like, yeah, this
It sounds very Jamaican. Very Jamaican.
I'm like, this is so Jamaica coded. So like the chaos in terms of that, and just like how their families, yeah, I think it's a good book. It took me a bit to get into, and I don't think I really appreciated it till the story was completed, and I kind of sat down and thought about the story. It was more literary, I suppose, than I'm used to reading. Yeah, I had to analyze some things. Yeah, and I just be real. So.
All right, now we are going to dive into the bookmark moment. What was a turning point for you that changed everything in this book?
I think the turning point for me was the part in Trelawney's story where he and his father had like the big conflict. So them have this huge catching up, and Trelawney basically crashes out. And father a nice big house offering, and try to chop down the man's beloved tree. Him aki tree, where his son get from somebody, and him big son get and come plant it on the property. Yeah, Trelawney crash out because father say, like he would have said, I want sissy or something like that. Him too sensitive, whatever. Trelawney crashes out, gets an axe, and goes to chop down his father.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what that boy am mad?
Like, seriously.
I was like, that boy am mad. And so it was the whole thing about his father saying he's soft and like he could survive in a film world, and that boy I crash out and say, alright, that boy am mad. I'm see like the conflict. It was like his climax of the story, and it only went down from there, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that was my most memorable moment from this book. I love that.
You're saying this right now, and I know that we're in like men's mental health month, and I'm just thinking that this relationship that this father has with his son plays out so often with our Jamaican boys. Like, you're too soft, you're too this, you're too that, you're not man enough. I can't just imagine how many young Jamaican boys continuously hear that growing up from their father.
And like how the difference between the relationship with his older son and Trelawney, and I don't know, great book, especially for men to read and discuss. Like if you have a book club with men, or a men's book club, or just it has great themes and a lot of really interesting scenes to like dissect and talk about and like connect to your real life. So
But this is definitely one for the boys.
Oh yeah, this one's
It's
for the
definitely
boys.
one for the
It's for the
boys.
boys.
Wow.
So heavy stuff. So what about you? What was your bookmark moment? Like what was something that stood out for you or a quote?
I don't remember any quotes per se, but I would say that a turning point for me in the book was the relationship between Violet and her childhood best friend, Dane, and just how they continuously went further away from each other. So he has this perception of her that he wanted to hold on to, and he basically wasn't allowing her to grow. Knowing that he was the same one that says the war college will force you to grow, it will strip away parts of your humanity and make you into somebody different, right? So he had experienced this change for himself, but yet still he was operating from a space where this is his childhood best friend that he's known since she was 5 years old. And, you know, things that she was going through and things that she was doing, it was so out of whack for him, where it just kind of rocked his mind, where he just wanted to hold on to the childhood Violet and not allow her. His mind just wouldn't allow him to see who she was becoming and appreciate who she was becoming. So that really created a rift in their friendship for me, which was, I get it. People grow and they do depart from each other. But seeing how it played out kind of like tugged on my heart a little bit. Also, Dana Fassi.
I was wondering when you were gonna get there because I'm like growing apart. I was like, that man was behaving.
They started to pull apart, you know. But like what he did ultimately just like it broke something in her.
He was being so unnecessarily. Oh God, I don't even have words.
Yeah, like the whole like capturing her memories without her permission and then feeding that information to her father. First of all, you know how your gift works. It doesn't capture the full picture. You're only able to capture pieces. And then you take these pieces and you feed it to your father. Your father set her up for dead.
It's so man wicked.
For dead.
He had turned him once for dead.
And like even with like I think it was one of his senior executives that basically sent men to her room to kill her. And she's telling him this and he's refusing to believe it.
And also
he refused, and he's like, let me like read your mind. And she's like, no. Like, you should know me well enough to take my word for it.
You see, it also brings us back to this conversation about complicated relationships with fathers, because here we are again with another complicated father-son relationship.
Yeah, because he has this, grand perception of who his father is. Integrity, trustworthy, knowledgeable, and then Dane is by the books. And he expects his father, he expects his father to be by the books. So that type of deception, he just could not comprehend. He couldn't comprehend it. But I don't know, I do know the relationship and how it dwindled between him and Violet was, I blame him. I totally blame him for everything.
And that was a shocker because of how she talked about him in the beginning. I was like,
I'm like, boy next door, and clearly he was supposed to be her end game.
Right, and I was like, ooh, stand up,
get up. He could not talk his way out of this one for me. Like, Dane was just, and then a moment that I just came to me right now. Because as you said, he's very black and white. He's very by the book. He abides by the codex. That's his Bible. When Zayden, Shadow Daddy. When Zayden asked if he would break a rule, if he would disobey something from the codex to save Violet's life. And he thinks about it for a second. And then he ultimately says no. I was like, yo.
Let's pack up our bags and go home because
Yeah, and you say you're her best
my best friend not gonna break the rule for keep me alive.
You're her best friend.
Theater,
And you want her
for
dead.
I forgot him.
He has a better redemption arc in book 2, which I do appreciate. I do see him becoming a better person, and I do love that for them. You know, some type of repair in their relationship. But my God, didn't in book 1, didn't in book 1, didn't in book 1.
Book 1, you just
Eat him.
just want something like that.
Eat him. And then he like basically sexually assaulted her when he kissed. When he forcefully kissed her.
And it was so weird.
It was so weird. And then she was like, she's like, she thought it would have been everything she had always imagined, but then it was, I don't know, like kissing a wall.
Oh, wait, I have no words. Actually, I have words, but I'm not gonna say them here.
Yeah. So that was my turning point. Her relationship with Dean. I'm pretty sure people are going to listen to this and wonder, that's your turning point? Yeah, I mean, you from the answer, you could tell that she and Shadow Daddy going big, like,
Period.
it. So that's not really a turning point for me. It's more like, when are they going to be it? But just to see the rift with her and her childhood best friend, yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Break me a little. Not her though, him. Like, men even in stories have the ability to disappoint you.
Let's not get on this soapbox because then you're gonna get me in trouble.
Oh my God.
So let's look at how life has been imitating art in these books. So tell us about the parallels that you're seeing, the themes around like real world things, how you see the Fourth Wing series imitating real life.
Something that really stood out for me was the whole notion of just information. There is this quote that says, the pen is mightier than the sword. And that could not be more true when it comes to this book. The scribes are responsible for capturing history, for retaining history and sharing history. But just how much of that history is the actual truth? And, you know, we see this in our day-to-day where powerful players are the ones that really control the information. Because if you control the knowledge that you're able to feed the people, you essentially can control the people. And I know it sounds a little bit conspiracy theory, but I mean,
Is it not good?
it near goes so, right? So that was something, that was the main thing that, it's really the thing that sets everything off. It's what, you know, pivoted the revolution, which they in the war college community calls the rebellion. So even just how the different things are described and how much culture and knowledge is stripped away and lost during the unification period, and whose culture really comes out on top. So it even explores a little bit of colonialism in sense to me, because you have this melting pot of different cultures, so to speak, but only one sits on the top that is adhered to, and anything else is kind of met by the wayside and, you know, slightly ignored. Yeah,
I think
it picked my brain.
I love that about this series, and I love when people make it very not like obvious, but you can see the parallels, and then people who don't typically think about these things, when you're like, but yeah, this is also how it is in real life.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
So that is again, it is the thing that kickstarts everything, like just information, who controls it and how they allow it to flow. And you begin to see it more at the latter part of book 1, heading into book 2. just how evil they are and how evil they have been and how much truth they have removed from people hundreds of years. And then with the dragons, they have their own little world that they have to adhere to. And in book 2, you get to see where information is withheld in the dragon community amongst even themselves, because Violet's dragon is kept in the dark about something very, very major about her other dragons.
And who she is.
Yeah, so he's kept in the dark about that. And I'm really looking forward to see how it all plays out in book 3.
I am very excited. We're gonna have to come back when she gets to book 3.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about it.
I'm really looking forward to book 3. All right. So the last thing, your book. Pass it or trash it?
So my book, I am definitely gonna be passing it. Here, have it. It's yours. This book, I feel like people should read it. I feel like people should read it, especially men. I feel like it's great for book clubs. I love when people read Caribbean stories. And I mean, even if it's something that you don't connect deeply with or you don't particularly enjoy it, I think it's still valuable in reading these stories and telling these stories and hearing these stories. So this is definitely a pass.
It's always good when we can have our Caribbean voices at the table. I love that.
So what about you? Are you passing? She never forget me that ask the question. She is passing.
Pass it, love it up, sleep with it, stay with it all night till the sun begins to seep through your windows and you're like, oh my God, I've been up all night reading. Happened to me twice. More than twice, actually. I'm pretty sleep deprived at this moment.
Lord God.
If you love fantasy, if you love romance, and this book just has such amazing action. Rebecca is a wonderful writer.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah. I've never felt this deeply for a fantasy series before. Like, she has captured me. The writing, the clarity, the creativity. I can literally see the scenes envisioned in my mind. I am able to picture everything in perfect clarity just based on her writing and how she manages to describe the scenarios. Absolutely passing it. Like, I can't wait for book 4 and 5 to get here. I'm excited. So I think that's it for today on the Bookish Breather. So thank you for spending time with us and tuning into our literary gems. And we will also like to thank MPixel Studios for hosting us. We are looking forward to making MPixel our permanent home for this podcast series. So be sure to subscribe, like this episode, share with your friends, and follow us at Readers of JA across all our platforms, Instagram, TikTok. We don't have Twitter, we don't have Facebook. We're not in that age group.
But do follow us.
So until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep turning those pages.
And this is Olivia and Rasida signing out.
Bye.
Bye.
So